A very warm welcome to our coverage of Toulon against Pau on the opening weekend of the top 14 from the Stade Mayol. It's been a summer of change for top 14 giants Toulon after they almost went the distance last season despite major coaching upheaval. Richard Cockerell did a fine job but has moved on to pastures new. Fabien Galtier is now in the hot seat for arguably Europe's most glamorous club. Plenty of big names have departed, but a new galaxy of stars have been brought in by Murad Boudjelal's millions. The target again this season for Toulon, the top 14 title. Today's visitors Pau had a fine season last time out. They finished 9th, but agonisingly close to a playoff spot. Just 5 points adrift in the end. This is their third season back in the big time, and the visitors have a real feeling of a club on a serious upward curve. Just to take you through the team news, Florian Frazier, Anthony Etrillard and Marcel van der Merwe make up the front row. Mamuka Gorgodze, the giant Georgian, in the second row. Monribeau is a new recruit. Sam Manoa starts at number 8. Facundo Isa, watch out for him, the Argentine. He's at open side flanker this afternoon for Toulon. Anthony Bayo, who kicked that memorable drop goal at La Rochelle in the semi-finals last season, he starts at fly half. It's a mighty experienced backline for Toulon, including Chris Ashton, a debut for the Englishman. As for Pau, plenty of quality in their side as well, not least Thomas Domingo, a new arrival from Clermont. He starts at loosehead this afternoon for the men from the Pyrenees. Plenty of talent in the backline as well. I'm sure plenty of Pau fans will be glad to see Conrad Smith back at outside centre. He didn't play much last season, the 94-time capped All Black. He starts at 13. Frank Halai is a new recruit. He is explosive. Watch out for him on the wing this afternoon for Pau. Julien Thomas as well. Partners Colin Slade, another All Black in the halfbacks. Well, Pau surprised many people last term as they went agonisingly close to that playoff spot. Stefan Armitage, you saw coming out as well, a former Toulon player. He starts against his old club. He is in a very fearsome looking back row for Pau as Simon Mannix hopes to go better this season. He has major designs on a playoff spot for Pau. Plenty of outlay in the summer for the visitors. Benson Stanley has also arrived from Clermont. He's not available, though, this afternoon. But I'm sure we'll see him in a couple of weeks. Adrien Plante is another new arrival, but again, not available. Pau have plenty of stars to come back. They are certainly a club on the rise. Mathieu Bastereau has had his critics in recent seasons. He makes the starting lineup this afternoon alongside Ma Nonu in the centres. Very explosive looking partnership. Now the ritual in every Toulon home game, the Pilou Pilou. Well, the Pilou Pilou always gets hairs raised at the Stade Mayol. That is the ritual. Laurent Cardona will get us underway. He's the referee this afternoon. He hasn't got a great history with Toulon. The last time Cardona, or one of the last times he's refereed here, was not very memorable for him. Early penalty for Pau. Laurent Cardona was wrapped and fiercely criticised by former Toulon coach Bernard Laporte after Grenoble won here back in January 2014. He was called incompetent and an embarrassment by Laporte. Laporte left the stadium that day in a huff. and basically called Cardona an amateur after Grenoble scored a late intercept try to win the top 14 league match that day. But 3.5 years on, Cardona back at the Stade Mayol, and Pau have an early line-out with Quentin Lespiac. Oh, but an intercept, almost. Toulon's line speed, furious. Early touch for Sylvain Charlet, who played scrum half there for Pau. Here's the tight head prop, though. There was the scrum half. Starting at half-back, Julien Thomas. Watch out for Colin Slade as well, former All Black, number 10 jersey today for Pau. That was Thomas again, and he spilt it forwards. Toulon trying to gain some territory early on. Here's Hugo Bonneval, one of the summer recruits, an expensive recruit from Stade Francais, but a top player. That did go forward though. Bonneval, though, I'm sure will have a huge impact this season. It's been a huge summer of departures and new arrivals for Toulon. Many players have gone. Matt Giteau has gone over to Japan. Drew Mitchell is retired. 2 key Australian players. Maxime Mermoz has drifted off to Newcastle as well. Pierre Bernard's gone to Biarritz. John Pelissier to Lyon. Lee Halfpenny has left for the Scarlets. James O'Connor's also left. Juan Smith as well, the flanker, is gone. Liam Gill has left. And Jean-Charles Orioli, the hooker, is now playing his trade at La Rochelle. So plenty of departures, but some top new arrivals as well. Chris Ashton making his debut. Hugo Bonneval, another debut. JP Peterson is on the bench. He'll make his first appearance if he comes on. Luke McAllister is also on the bench, another new arrival. But Jean Monribeau and Facundo Isa start in the back row. Another couple of recruits this summer. So 4 debuts in total. Simon Mannix there. 1 promotion in his first season with Pau in 2014-2015, and he's really done a fine job at the Pyrénées club in the couple of seasons they've had in the top flight. 11th in their first season, 9th last season, but a major improvement. That was Isa. Real shrewd signing for Facundo Isa, Argentine international. There's Nonu, part of a vastly experienced three-quarter line this afternoon for Toulon, with Ashton, Bastereau and Claire alongside him. Here is Bastereau to Bonneval. Bonneval. That wasn't to plan from Bayeux. I'm sure Bayeux is going to get plenty of game time this season in the 10 jersey, but he's going to have competition. Oh, the loose pass. Well, I don't think Simon Mannix is going to be too happy with that. The ball finding touch instead of the wing. A mistake from Charlie Malley. He's a Spaniard, Charlie Malley. Early driving from the home sides. And a bit of a thud on Swan Rebadge in the number 5 jersey. Bastereau breaking tackles. Oh, and it's a very good steal from the Pau fullback, Malley, making up for his earlier error. Fine job there from Malley at the breakdown. Here's his opposite number, Bonneval. That's Claire. That's a lovely pass as well from the highly experienced winger. This is great stuff from Toulon. They're punching holes in the Pau defence. Can they finish the job? Up off the floor from Monribeau. The hand is out from Cardona, so Toulon have the penalty, and there it is. Not releasing. Infringement of the breakdown for the visitors. And they're going to go for goal. So there should be 3 points coming, but here's the initial break. Lovely turn of pace there.
You can't leave the line out.
It was Facundo Isa,
Okay, you can't leave. You have to stay.
the man who profited from Vincent Claire's lovely pass. And there you see it, holding on in the tackle and not releasing. And this should be an early settler for Toulon. Over it goes, and they're on the board with 7 minutes gone. Anthony Bayo has a fine future ahead of him. And there is Fabien Galtier. Formerly of one of Toulon's rivals, Stade Francais. He enjoyed a hugely illustrious career with Stades, won the top 14 title with them.
Le qui est formé, attention. Non, blanc.
Toulon looking rather slick early on. A lot was made about the loss of the likes of Mitchell and Halfpenny, and particularly Matt Giteau. But it is the new generation of stars. Anthony Bayo, one of them. Inside to Bastereau. Bastereau has Facundo Isa on his shoulder. Isa still going. What an early impact he's made. Here's Escond, the scrum half. High tackle, perhaps. Arm is out from the referee because of that high tackle. But Toulon want more than another penalty.
Avantage en cours, plaquage haut.
They're looking pretty hot early on in this game. Here's Nonu. Goes for the little grubber through. That's too far, but they do have the penalty, which they'll come back for. Well, despite the huge number of outgoings and incomings, Toulon this season, they really are looking very fluid, looking like they've gelled almost instantly. What a start to the game for Facundo Isa. He really was one of the sought-after flankers, and after Liam Gill's departure to Lyon, which was a huge surprise, I must admit, Facundo Isa's arrival comes just at the right time for Toulon. Looks like a ready-made replacement for Liam Gill. Anthony Bayo is got another chance to double Toulon's money. Pau very much on the back foot early on. Incessant Toulon pressure, wave after wave of attack, and that is just rewards for a fine start for the home side. Bello, 21 years of age. He's a sturdy fly half. He's not the tallest, but he weighs in at around about 85, 86 kilos, so there's plenty of him for his relatively low sense of gravity. But Bayo could well be a real star for club and country in the coming years. Eric Escond, his halfback partner with the box kick. taken by Stefan Armitage, back at his old stomping grounds. Armitage resisting the urge to resurrect his international career with England by signing a contract with Pau after leaving Toulon. Many in England wanted him to come home, but decided against it and to join the Poet projects. Offloads from Colin Slade goes straight to his compatriot Marnonu. There's Escont. Oh, the bounce almost favouring Toulon, but mopped up in the end. Conrad Smith did still score a couple of tries for Pau last season, despite barely playing. Multiple injury problems for Conrad Smith as Charlie Malley. He's bundled into touch. Oh, the Toulon coaching staff this season.
Ouais, c'est la vôtre, pardon, excusez-moi. Je pensais
See that offload to Marnonu.
Restez, messieurs blancs, restez.
Fabien Gaultier has Marc Del Masso. Fabrice Landreau. That was the man in your picture. And Manny Edmonds among the ranks. Manny Edmonds has arrived from Béziers in the summer. After 4 years with Béziers. So Gaultier accompanied by Marc Del Masso, Fabrice Landreau and Manny Edmonds in the coaching staff for Toulon this season. Toulon making meters and popping passes from everywhere at the moment. That was Gorgodza. And that was Bastera. And now Nonu picking up from the base of the ruck. Pau trying their best to stay on sides. Escont digs it out to Bello, to Gorgodza. Pau told to get back 10. And it's another penalty to Toulon. It's not been a great start from the visitors.
Le ballon est pas sorti, vous êtes partis déjà. Comment? C'était un hors-jeu du 7 blanc.
The giant.
Le ballon est pas sorti. Il a à peine les mains sur le ballon, vous êtes déjà monté.
Figure of Gorgodza punching holes.
Non, pour moi non. C'est comme ça que cette faute que j'ai prise, si vous voulez savoir.
Anthony Bello with another chance. Over it goes. He's looking ultra confident, says Anthony Bello. And so are Toulon. They have burst into a 9-point advantage with the quarter-hour mark approaching at Stade Mayol. Toulon do have this ability to grind out wins. They used Lee Halfpenny to full effect last season in some matches. And Bello, another break once more to Bonneval. And Toulon are in the mood. Bonneval to Vincent Clerc, and back to Bonneval. Was that forward? But Bonneval has crossed the line. And Toulon are playing some sumptuous rugby. It really has been a majestic start from Toulon. What a break again from Anthony Bello. Hugo Bonneval has been outstanding so far. The interchange with Clerc, I think it's just about okay. There was a hint of a forward pass. from the former France winger. Well, it looked forward to me to begin with. But Bonneval does what he does best. He was a superb finisher for Stade Francais in recent seasons. But the referee has decided to ignore that hint of a forward pass. And the try stands. Toulon's first of the season. They scored 68 last season. And number one has duly arrived against Pau in the new campaign. And Bello straight down the middle. And Toulon are already running away with this. Simon Mannix looking on, I think, with a bit of despair from the sidelines. His side have been outplayed. The jinking and the twisting and the turning of Bonneval and Claire completely outfoxed the stretched Pau backline. And the men from the Pyrenees are in big trouble. Barely 17 minutes gone. Toulon 16, Pau 0. I think you just heard Simon Mannix on the sidelines there. First came over to Europe in 1997, did Simon Mannix. Had a season with Sale before spending 3 years at Kingsholm with Gloucester. And was backs coach with Racing Metro. And also spent a couple of seasons with Munster before taking the head coach post at Pau. So he spent much of his career on these shores. The line out a little messy, but there's been nothing messy about Toulon's play in open play.
No, 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 no.
He's carrying again. There's Gorgodza. Good footballing skills from Gorgodza, good awareness. Here's Chris Ashton, former Saracen, making his debut. Oh, pass from Escont, not grabbed by Gorgodza. It was flung at him at some speed, but Gorgodza would have expected to take that. I think Simon Mannix on the sidelines will be itching for Pau to just gain some territory. They've barely been out of their own half. And when they have, Toulon have run it from deep. That is Julien Thomas. Oh, straight to the hooker, to Etriard, and this is getting worse and worse for Pau. Ashton does well. That was Samu Manoa, and they're steaming up, they're queuing up on the outside. Vincent Clair. Well, that has gone forward. Chris Ashton in the wars. Well, love him or loathe him, you cannot deny that Chris Ashton is a fine player. Part of that superb Saracen side that beat Clermont in the Champions Cup final last season. He was an inspiration for the North Londoners. Not really highly regarded by the England setup, though. I don't think it's a case of quality, rather than, I think, the England hierarchy having certain favourites, because Chris Ashton easily good enough to be a part of that England squad, and it's some coup for Toulon to get him, even though he is nearing the twilight of his career. One of the other big-name arrivals at the Stade Félix Mayol this summer. Malachi Fekitoa is still a couple of weeks away from a return. There's another one, JP Peterson, arriving from the Leicester Tigers, another highly seasoned international player for South Africa. Well, the stats say it all. Toulon bossing this match. Should mention some of the other players not available for Toulon this afternoon. It really is a who's who. It's Juandre Kruger, Brian Habana, Rafael Lacafia, Jonah Placide, a new arrival from down under, Dwayne Vermeulen, the big South African number 8, Jonathan Wisniewski, another new recruit, Juan Martin Fernandez Lobe and Fekitoa, all of them on the sidelines through injury. So you just wait until they come back. Toulon, widely expected to go well again this season, but they are developing a losing habit in major finals. They're almost doing a Clermont. Clermont beating them in last season's top 14 final, a terrific final, 22 points to 16. But Toulon have been involved in 5 of the last 6 top 14 finals, but they've lost 4 of them. So I'm sure that Mourad Boudjelal and Fabien Galtier will be very eager to scratch that itch this season. That scrum not going anywhere. It was a good tackle from the little scrum half Escont. Armitage dragging him off. Bonneval, he is a delightful player to watch. The France international fullback. France really are spoilt for choice in that position with Scott Spedding as well. And look at this from Mar Nonu. This is what the former All Black does best. Tearing through and making line breaks. Escont to Bastereau.
7 blancs se couche chez les rouges et empêche de sortir la balle.
The arm is out.
Avantage en cours.
Penalty given against Armitage.
Arrêt du temps.
That back row of Poe at the moment not really making any impact at all. Armitage giving away another penalty, but I don't think he's being helped by Baptiste Pacenti and Pierrette Gunther.
C'est-à-dire que pour moi, vous venez en position, vous ne supportez pas le poids de votre corps, vous allez chez les rouges, vous bloquez le ballon et vous vous couchez chez eux. C'est ça la faute que je vous reproche. Okay, ça fait 4 fautes que je pénalise contre vous, dont 3 en situation de zone dangereuse. Attention.
Yeah, I was just saying, just watch out. Basically, that was the message to Stefan Armitage. Outfoxed a little bit there by Nonu. Yeah, he just goes off his feet, gets on the wrong side. Superb work from Toulon, though, at the breakdown to cause that. You might have noticed as well that Armitage speaks perfect French. Well, he has been in France for quite a number of years, but still, he's really made himself at home here. Oh, Gorgodze, this is ominous for Poe. Gorgodze inches away from that try line. Toulon building up ahead of steam. And surely is that down? It looks down to me. I think the referee's going to go upstairs. Yeah, he just says I need to verify. Just don't think Laurent Cardona could see it. I thought I could see it. That looked like a certain try to me. But we are going upstairs to the officials. To Philippe Bonore.
Entre le ballon et le sol.
Try yes or no. Simple question.
Le départ de Moll est bon parce que c'est le porteur du ballon qui vient contre vous.
Was there a case, perhaps, of the foot of Thomas Domingo getting under that? Watch out for Domingo's foot. He's under it there. But then it looks to go down to me. I think he's grounded it. He didn't at first. Domingo did well to get anything under the ball, but I think that's a try. He then sort of somehow digs the ball down.
Okay, d'accord, Philippe. Donc, vas-y, je t'écoute.
We await the decision.
Je t'ai pas entendu. Donc décision, le ballon est aplati sur la ligne après avoir touché le pied du pilier, c'est bien ça? Donc on peut accorder l'essai. Merci Philippe. Essai. Essai.
And it's a try.
Essai. Il est bien sur votre pied et après, le coup ça y est.
Just what the doctor ordered for Fabien Galtier. All right, Bujalao got his man. Diego Dominguez tried and failed. Mike Ford tried and failed. Richard Cockerill actually did a pretty splendid job towards the end of last season before departing for Edinburgh, somehow dragging Toulon, a disjointed Toulon, to a top 14 final. He then left. Galtier's come in, and they look a real handy side under their new coach. And Bayo, conversion is simple, and Toulon are almost over the hills here. Long way to go, of course, but they now lead 23 points to nil. And Pau, quite simply, have been blown away. Colin Slade with the restart. It's taken by Samu Manoa. Hint of a high tackle there from Sylvain Charlet. There's Isa. I think he'll be filling that 7 berth on a number of occasions this term for Toulon.
Oui, bien sûr, aucun problème.
No problem, says the referee. Has that gone forward from Domingo? Referee says no.
Plaquage!
That was Picenti taking the ball into contact. Is Armitage. A joint tackle there from Frazier and Monribeau. Pau getting some phases, but not really going anywhere. Gorgodza holding him up superbly. But then the ball popped off to the former Clermont man, Domingo. Slade, inside ball, was risky. And it went forward. Well, they splashed the cash, Pau, to get Colin Slade in alongside Conrad Smith. Slade has certainly had more game time, but Smith barely played last season. And I'm sure they'll be hoping, Simon Mannix, to get his compatriots playing at 10 and at 13 together to form a creative backline. Benson Stanley as well, I'm sure, will be a terrific recruit when he's available. And Pau have actually done some pretty impressive business. Made some really astute signings, Simon Mannix, and that many people's outside tip for a playoff place, alongside, I think, Lyon as well. Lyon certainly my tip for a top 6 spot this season, but Pau could go close. They're normally pretty strong at home, the Pyrenees side. And they dug out a couple of victories away from home last season. They're the 5th best away record, despite shipping plenty of points on their travels. They won 3 times. Pau, and drew away as well. Remember, away victories in the top 14 are pretty scarce normally, but Pau did manage 3 on their travels last term. Bordeaux, Toulouse rather, and Grenoble seen off. And a draw at Bayonne. But they did ship at least 30 points on 7 occasions last season, so that was Pau's problem. Just conceded far too many points away from home. They had a minus 97 points difference at the end of the season. And only Grenoble and Bayonne were worse. So they need to tighten up their defence. I'm sure that Simon Mannix is aware of that. Uncharacteristic from Gorgodze. Don't normally see him making errors. There's Manny Edmonds.
Attention à la stabilité. Même si je commande plus l'entrée par rapport au 9.
I'm sure he'll be a fine addition, Edmonds, to the coaching setup. Arrived in the summer. Played for Perpignan for 5 years, up until 2007. Chipped over 4 penalties in the 2003 Heineken Cup final against Toulouse, which the Catalans lost 22-17.
Ah non, moi je décide rien. C'est stable. C'est stable.
Manny Edmonds, I'm sure, will bring plenty of creativity as he coaches the backs this season for Toulon. Still only 40 years of age, Edmonds. Not far off what Thomas Domingo is. Domingo knocking on a bit now, but still a real shrewd operator. I'll say that he's only 32, but feels like he's been around for years, Thomas Domingo.
Restez liés, rouge. Le ballon est sorti.
The bandaged Chris Ashton knocked that one forward. There's Armitage. Pau, remember as well, also missing some real key players, and I'm sure they'll want to get Watisoni Votu back playing as soon as possible. The explosive Fijian winger. He scored 13 tries last season, bettered only by Wasea Naya-Salevu of Stade Francais. Adrien Plante as well will come in at some point and add to the wing options. There's Conrad Smith. Not really going to plan for Pau at the moment, is it? Almost half an hour in. They are making so many unforced errors.
Saignement, le 8 là, il saigne abondamment. Il saigne abondamment le 8.
Plenty of quality on that Toulon bench. Yeah, household names: Jocelino Suter, Luke McAllister, JP Peterson, Sebastian Thiers-Board. But we've also got some youngsters as well, like Rudy Gaeto, Bastien Souris, Laurent Delboub, and Emeric Setiano making up the 8 replacements. Players just taking some water. It's a very hot day in Toulon. It's around about 30 degrees or so today. It always is in these parts at this time of the year. On the Côte d'Azur. Samu Manoa just getting some treatment as well. Remember that World Rugby have made head injury assessments a compulsory 10 minutes from yesterday. So Jocelino Suter will come on for Samu Manoa. I don't think it's going to force Manoa off for the duration of the game, but it might be 10 minutes or so. But Juscelino Suter certainly isn't a bad replacement. Vastly experienced player. "34 years of age now, Suter. Holding on in the tackle there, Toulon, so it will be a penalty to Poe. Stefan Armitage, that's an example of what he can do. He has given away a few penalties this afternoon, but that's some of his better work. He is still regarded as one of the finest back row players on the planet, Stefan Armitage, and it is a richly talented Poe squad. Why they're tipped this season to go a couple of places better and challenge for the top 6. Certainly don't envisage them to be in a relegation battle at the end of this campaign. I think they're far too good for that. But such is the competitive nature of the top 14, you just never know.
C'est bon, c'est bon. Il est au cœur du ruck.
And they're driving more here. Didn't really go anywhere. And the attack shut down by some aggressive Toulon defence, and they may turn this over. Well, Poe just about hang on by the skin of their teeth to that ball. That was Dan Ramsey coming through. Great tackle from Isa. Poe replacement is Julien Pierre, who's come on. There's Domingo. Pierre again on the charge. Best spell that Poe have had in this game. It's taken them well over half an hour. Slade trying to jink his way past Nonu. That was Domingo to Conrad Smith, tackled by Isa again. Toulon told to leave it. Desperately need to try and get something before half-time. Chip over the top. He's going to be dabbed down by Hugo Bonival. Danger averted.
Reculez. Tiens, sur le coup de pied, oui. C'est le rouge qui touche le ballon, oui. Et après le ballon il rentre dans le but. C'est bien ça. C'est le rouge qui rentre le ballon dans le but. C'est le rouge qui rentre dans le but, mais il est à 5. Bien ça. Sur le contre, c'est le rouge qui touche le ballon glisse dans le but, vous aplatissez, mêlée, balle blanc.
Oh, Laurent Cardona, ouais. Here.
Il y a des remplacements chez les rouges.
Just going to take another look at this. It's gone over the top. It was a bit of a bizarre decision, I think, from Cardona. Delboub and Setiano, the replacement props to come on for Florian Frazier and Marcel van der Merwe. This is interesting from Toulon. Really interesting tactic. So that's a great vote of confidence for Frazier and van der Merwe. So the referee eventually ordering a scrum 5 and...
Il y a en avant, il y a tout. Il est devant, il y a hors-jeu. Vous tournez la volée volontairement.
The discussion before was about whether the Toulon player had knocked on. And then Bonneval grounded, and then Cardona did come back eventually for the scrum. Well, Colin Slates is going for the try here. He's kicked a touch.
Si c'est une faute en touche, il n'a pas besoin de taper. C'est le terrain. Pour moi, vous la tournez volontairement avec des pas chassés. Je pense que le droitier lâche et que... Après... C'est vous, 18. Le 18 qui vient chez les Blancs.
Domingo carries, but
tackled
by all of 3 men. I made it there.
La ligne, reculée, rouge. Avantage. Hein?
Senti. And the chip over the top for Conrad Smith, but gathered by Vincent Clerc. Coming back though.
Alors, Julien, il y a faute sur touche, tu peux me dire, je vais en touche.
First real spell of sustained Pau pressure. It was an excellent line-out take as well from Dan Ramsey.
Rouge, touche choisi.
Well, another scrum. Oh, another line out, I beg your pardon. They go short this time, Pau. Trying to get that driving maul going, but I think Gorgodza has stolen that. Well, penalty advantage to Pau. Gorgodza did that illegally, according to Lauren Cardona. Another line-out.
Changement pour la section paloise, sortie du numéro 18, Julien Pierre, retour du numéro 4, Dave Foley.
Dave Foley back on the field. Julien Pierre, a blood replacement. You can see Foley bandaged up. Dave Foley, one of the couple of Irishmen in the squads. Sean Dougal not in the sides, out of the 23. Well, Pau trying to get that driving maul set, and it's motoring. Toulon have got some real hard work defensively to do here. Are Pau going to go over? It looks like they have, and the try is there. Completely outplayed for the majority of this game, but the driving maul finished off by Pierrick Gunter. And Pau are right back in this match. Well, they have something at least to take into half-time. Gunter took the line out originally. Toulon always going to be at a disadvantage trying to defend that. When Pau got ahead of steam, over it went. Conversion coming. And that's good from Slates. And the gap now a mere 16 points, but it's a lot better than 23. Pau off the mark for the season. Pierrick Gunter, 27 years of age. He's not the biggest of back rows. He's 6'3". Certainly not the tallest for that position, but he's a shrewd operator. Former Toulon player, of course. A couple of years ago, he left the Stade Maillot, so a try against his former club. He's also played for Lyon and Oyonnax.
No.
It's another example of the depth that Pau have. They do possess a lot of top players, even with their lengthy injury list. And they're making some strides here. This is superb work from the hooker. What a run from Lespiac. He's eventually brought down by Bonneval. A scoop pass from Slade is a bit showman-like, but Pau are getting the job done there until the fumble. Well, Frank Halley is furious with himself, and I'm not surprised, because that was a gaping opportunity. And Mannix, I don't think, can believe it. He knows it. They were almost right back in this match. Tremendous break from the hooker. Look at the speed from Lespiac. Well, Pau showing in the final 10 minutes what they can do. Slade kept it alive. Smith with that lovely inside ball. Good offload as well out of the tackle, and Halley is absolutely livid with himself. Such a danger, such a finisher. Normally, Frank Halley. Remember, he's a former All Black as well. Absolutely superb for Wasps in his short spell with the club. Oh, there's Gunter. Still got plenty of years left in him as well, Pierrick Gunter.
Flexion. Lié.
Well, it's been a very entertaining match, and we had the stardust of Toulon in the opening half hour. Some quite truly exceptional fluid moves. But Pau, to their credit, have really battled hard in these final 10 minutes.
Flexion. Lié.
Hugo Bonneval and Marcel van der Merwe. Van der Merwe with the finishing touch for that second score. Pierrick Gunter, though, has got Pau back in this game, but it's still been exceptional stuff from Toulon. Last season's runners-up have been lightning quick out of the blocks in their first top 14 match of the new season.
In La Vuelta on Tuesday, live on Eurosport, the Chain Gang is back, labouring on the roads.
World champions on the cards at the final major meeting of the athletics season. Saturday, live on Eurosport in the Diamond League from Brussels.
Richard, ready to depart.
Let's work our off to get the job done.
I expect to come here for a nice day on the hook plate, do all the fun stuff, and instead I'm sitting here cleaning up the mess.
If one of these was to let go and fall, I wouldn't have a job.
Experience life on the tough Australian tracks.
Oliver.
Railroad Australia starts Thursday, September 14, exclusive to Discovery.
Well, welcome back to the Stade Félix Mayol for the second half of Toulon against Pau. Toulon making a pretty good fist of it as they try to respond to wins yesterday from title rivals such as Montpellier and La Rochelle. Montpellier impressive in beating Arjon, which was expected. La Rochelle digging out a superb victory at Brive, which is a very difficult place to go. Fabien Galtier on his way back up to his box. But this is a chance for Toulon to put 4 or maybe even 5 5 points on the board, rather, not pints. Too early for that. And try and steal a march, an early march on Clermont after their defeat yesterday at Bordeaux. Clermont coming away from the Atlantic coast with absolutely nothing, despite leading for the majority of that game. So not a great start for the champions, but great start in the first half for last year's runners-up. I'm sure Fabien Gaultier will hope for more of the same, a similar start to the second half as his side started the first. Escond with the box kick, gaining some early Toulon territory. A little bit mixed for both sides in pre-season. Just take you through their form in the close season. Toulon started off pretty badly, beaten heavily by an Argentine development side. Then they responded by beating another Argentina side, 36-29. They then beat Clermont on this ground, 29-26. Before a surprise defeat here to Lyon a week or so ago. Ashton getting beaten under the high ball, but it has gone forward. Pau, on the other hand, beat Angoulême, the Pro D2 side, away from home, 40-21. Although Marvin Lestramo looked like he suffered a bad injury in that one. But Pau then beaten pretty convincingly by Clermont. 35 points to 14. So just the 2 pre-season matches for Pau, 4 for Toulon. So Toulon perhaps just a little bit sharper. Both sides in differing European competitions this season. Toulon, 3-time European champions, of course, 3 straight European titles, are in Pool 5 of the Champions Cup. It's a negotiable group, but a difficult one as well. Scarlets, the Pro 12 champions, now the Pro 14, of course, after the merger with the 2 South African sides, are in Toulon's pool. So Scarlets, Bath as well, always tricky on their day, the West Country side, and Treviso, who are likely to be the whipping boys in that one. So Toulon do stand a good chance. Pau are in Pool 3 of the Challenge Cup alongside Argent, Zebre, and last season's runners-up, Gloucester. So a tricky one for Pau in Pool 3. Gloucester likely to be their main challengers. So Simon Mannix will return to Kingsholm in the Challenge Cup this season as they take on the Cherry and Whites. Well, penalty for Toulon. The crowd enjoying that one. And I should inform you as well that, remember those 2 prop changes for Toulon. Laurent Delboub and Emeric Setiano coming on. Well, they've stayed on. Florian Fraser, Marcel van der Merwe are off. So, pretty ruthless decision there from Fabien Gaultier. Obviously not enjoying what he saw in the first 34 minutes. Because Fraser, van der Merwe hauled off. Speaking of Setiano, here he is. Huge bulldozing ball carrier. It's Gorgodze. It's an important tackle from Florian Nico. Inside centre for Pau, but referee Laurent Cardona comes back for the penalty. Here's what it was for. Collapsing them all. Francois Tranduc, he's still to come back as well. Not in the 23 today. Rafael Cafia next to him. A galaxy of stars right there for Toulon. Plenty of men to come back. Levan Chilachava, the big Georgian as well, not available. Eduardo Padovani, another new recruit, exciting backline player. Also not in the squad, Roman Taufifenua, Xavier Chiocchi, Guilherme Girardo and Josh Tuisova all to come back. But Toulon, at the moment, managing pretty well without them. And they stretch their advantage to 19 points. 26 points to 7. The Stade Félix Maillot. Anthony Bello, yet again, showing very few nerves. It's going to be an interesting battle. I mentioned Josh Tuisova being out. When he comes back, the amount of options that Toulon have on those wings is simply quite frightening. Ashton, Claire, Brian Habana to come back as well. Jonah Placid, who can play anywhere across the back line, the new arrival from the Melbourne Rebels. And also Tuisova. Now that is simply frightening. And that is why Toulon are widely considered again one of the favourites for the top 14 title. The sheer strength in depth that they possess. And a fumble there from Escond. Don't think you'll want to see that one again. A couple of changes at half-time as well. I'll fill you in for Pau. So Stefan Armitage gets some treatment. Thomas Domingo has been replaced by Malik Hamadash. And Sylvain Charlet pulled off for Jamie McIntosh. So 2 front row replacements as well for the visitors. Simon Mannix not happy with what he's seen. An indication. I thought Thomas Domingo had a reasonable first half, but I don't think Mannix was too impressed. Well, basking in the early season sunshine on the Côte d'Azur. Samu Manoa is back on. You can see him at the base of the scrum. He's done his 10 minutes for his head injury assessment. Pau scrum looking pretty solid. Oh, it's a lovely break here and chance for a try, and it's taken superbly. A brilliant score from Florian Nico, and Pau are not done yet. Well, that was wonderful. Real solid foundations in the set piece for the visitors. A lovely break. I do think Anthony Bello was beaten a little bit too easily, though, there. A huge gap in the Toulon rearguard. So simple for Julien Thomas to exploit. Up on his shoulder was Florian Nico. And Pau back to within 14, possibly 12 with the conversion, which should be a formality. Over it goes from Slade. That was a lovely move, that, from Pau. potential blocking there, but I think they were already over. Despairing dive of Facundo Isa. So 26-14. It's going to be a scrum. A couple of giant props, the new arrivals for Poe, Hamadash and McIntosh. McIntosh is around about 130 kilos and Hamadash is even bigger, he's 132. They are Poe's largest props, so you see where Simon Mannix's game plan is shaping towards. Bonival with a half break. Feeds Marnonu. This is quick ball from Toulon. Manoa evades the contact. Escond to second receiver. Here's Ashton. Chip over the top from the Englishman. Yet to really be given a chance in this game. Ashton. Lovely hands from Bastereau there. Bello. One-handed offload. Ashton. Just booting off a Poe hand. Toulon line out. Etria. A little bit untidy, but trying to get the rolling maul going. Didn't go much further though. Godza coming flying in.
Rouge, c'est le regroupant. Il vient avec le coude en avant, c'est le joueur blanc qui l'a.
Ok. Quel est...
Pour moi, c'est un penalty, c'est une pénalité ici.
Ok, donc je vais revenir sur la route.
Non, regardez, monsieur l'arbitre, je vous promets, je ne vais même pas toucher. Regardez la vidéo, je prends un rouge, c'est jugé comme ça. Regardez-vous la vidéo.
Mais vous venez quand même avec le... Allez, c'est bon.
Gorgotza pleading with the officials there to watch the replay. I'm not sure Bastereau is too happy either.
Il y avait bien avantage pour vous, pour une faute. D'accord. Ça, je retourne, je la donne pour eux. Parce que Mamouka vient avec le coude en avant sur un joueur qui est un joueur blanc. Voilà, ok. Donc, il y avait.
So penalty for Poe. And the referee Cardona not listening to Gorgodza or Bastereau.
Reprise du temps.
Despite their remonstrations, Colin Slade takes Poe up to halfway. Well, that was what it was for. It was Gorgodza coming in, clearing out the ruck, and he had really no need to do that. Was Stefan Armitage in at the side there? I guess that was what Gorgodza was asking, but it was a little bit careless. Frank Halley not had the best of matches, the former Wasp player. T will come again, he's a fine player. But right now he's going to be replaced by Julien Fuma.
Et avec l'épaule, 7 rouges.
And Sebastian Thius-Board has come on as well. He's normally the first choice for Toulon, Thius-Board. But Eric Escond, also a fine player. That's a superb kick from Colin Slade. And Poe edging towards the Toulon 22. That's a hell of a tackle from Manoa on Armitage. He is a bone cruncher, Samu Manoa. Stefan Armitage may well be feeling a bit groggy after that. Samu Manoa, former Northampton Saint. He won the English Premiership title with them in 2014. He's an American international. Well, Toulon did the double over Pau last season. They won 22-18 in the Pyrenees, exactly 1 year ago to the day. Lee Halfpenny with 17 points and Charles Ollivon's try, seeing them to victory, despite being outscored that day. Pau making a change at hooker. And I think he's had a pretty effective game, Quentin Lesbiac, but replaced by Laurent Boucher. Toulon rather been a bogey side for Pau since Pau were promoted to the top flight after a 9-year absence in 2015. Toulon beaten comfortably on this ground, 32-12 in the final game of last season. Halfpenny, Chilachava, Guirado and Mitchell with the tries that day. Fabien Gaultier hasn't really seen a performance from Toulon in this second period. I think you would have been hoping for a bonus point at one stage, but they're level at 2 tries apiece. Remember, in the top 14, you have to score 3 more tries than your opponents to get the offensive bonus points. So Toulon have work to do on that aspect, but I'm sure Gaultier would take a 4-point victory. Can Pau, though, have a say about that? Thomas. Slades. And the mark called by Bonneval. Not the best kick, that, from the former All Black. Bonneval, part of the exodus from Stade Francais this summer. Stade looked like they were going under last season after the merger with Racing. And their form really turned round when their future was decided after fan protestations. But Bonneval decided, no, I'm off to Toulon. And Stade beaten at home by Lyon yesterday, so not a great start for the Parisians. Great take. That is what Stade Francais are missing out on this season. Wonderful under the high ball. Great pass from Nonu to his centre partner Bastereau.
Libère 12. En avant, avantage. Avantage terminé.
Well, that's better from Slade. That's a really good kick. There wasn't really much wrong with that. I think it was an honest attempt from Charlie Malley to actually get that ball.
Changement pour la section paloise, sortie du numéro 4, Dave Follet, remplacé par le numéro 18, Julien Pierre, sortie du numéro 12, Florian.
Well, Julien Pierre, we saw him a little bit earlier on in the game, but he's actually coming on for good now. Dave Foley pulled off. Tom Taylor as well. Another mercurial backline player is on. Florian Nico, the man to make way. Well, Van der Merwe is back on. Setiano is back off. Seems to be rolling substitutions for Toulon, particularly in the front row. Manoa. That was a tackle by the number 17, Jamie McIntosh. Penalty goes the way of the home sides, and it's taken quickly. Chris Ashton. And arm still out from Cardona, so the advantage still with the hosts. Anthony Bello, that's class, but couldn't quite gather it. Well, Bello has got some bottle taking on Pesenti rather, I beg your pardon.
Photo. Merci.
Oh, the instructions pretty clear for Anthony Bello. Take us 15 points clear. That would mean Po require 3 converted tries.
Rudy.
Absolutely faultless from one of France's up-and-coming fly halves, Anthony Bello. And Toulon do go 15 points clear. Hasn't been magical in the second half by any means from the Côte d'Azur club. But when Anthony Bello is playing with such confidence as this, and Toulon should be absolutely fine for the remainder of this game. Oh, Manoa has now gone off, and Rudy Gaeto, another one from the production line of Toulon talent, coming on. And Marnonu is going to be given a rest as well. JP Peterson, a debut for the South African international wing. JP Peterson made a huge impact with the Leicester Tigers last season. As we just see the Nico try of Po. So just a little bit of background on Rudy Gaeto. He's another highly rated youngster, just 21 years of age, relatively light for a back row player, 105 kilos. Believe me, that is quite light nowadays. And not the tallest either, 1.88 m, but he's really highly rated. We'll have to watch out for him for the rest of the season. Rudy Gaeto, the young Frenchman. Well, Florian Fraser now back on as well. So the original starting props, Fraser and Van der Merwe, now back on. Van der Merwe, of course, the scorer of that second try for Toulon this afternoon. There was quite a bit between the sides last season. Toulon finishing 69 points in 4th place. Whereas Po finished on 57 points, but that was a pretty superb achievement for Po. That's 11 points better off than in their debut season in the top flight. In the top 14, rather. So Po certainly making rapid strides. They won 12 matches, lost 13 last term. But they're in real trouble here. And this is going to be a debut try for Chris Ashton. No swallow dive for the Englishman, but a debut score to treasure. What on earth were Po doing there? And any hope of them getting back into this game has surely been quashed by a truly superb winger. It was a hospital pass, and Ashton has gone over. Thank you very much, he says. And Toulon now 20 points clear of the visitors. Well, they're all looking on. And no wonder. Just about 5 minutes or so ago, they were in a great position to come back. Ashton, of course, a former rugby league player as well. And of course it's good from Anthony Bello. He's been immaculate this entire match. 22 points the gap now. 5 years with Northampton Saints. 5 years with Saracens. A truly electric career. 47 tries in total. I make it for Chris Ashton with Saracens in 5 seasons, and that is some record. And Frank Halley is back on. Julien Fuma goes back to the bench. Chris Ashton still only 30, which is pretty young for a winger. You imagine he's got plenty of years left in him. But felt that time was due to move on. And what a break this is, and Po could be back in the match here. Has he got that down? It's a superb break from the replacement, Thibaut Debagna, replacement scrum half. Well, definitely going to the TMO, Laurent Cardona.
Philippe, s'il te plaît. Essai ou pas?
Try yes or no.
C'est bien ça.
And this would be Po's 3rd score. Oh, it's a lovely break, isn't it, from Debagna. Is he in touch, though? Oh, I think he might be. If he is in touch, what a superb piece of defending from Chris Ashton. I think he is in touch, you know. This might give us a better angle. Yeah, I don't think that's a score. Ashton, superb piece of defending. No try. Well done, Chris Ashton. Take a bow.
Reprise du temps. Attention.
It's a decent box kick from Toulouse boards. Anthony Bello steering the ship again for Toulon. No sign yet of Luke McAllister, who remains seated on the bench. Jocelyn Suter came on briefly earlier, now comes on for Jean Monribeau. Jean Monribeau has been tireless. 29 years of age, Monribeau. He came in from Bayonne this summer. "12 new arrivals in total for the home side." Tousboard picks up. Excellent scrum half, Tousboard. Well, on the wrong side of the ruck there, Stefan Armitage, but play goes on. Tousboard again, sniping and sending it wide for Chris Ashton, who might have scored again. I think he has. What a finisher this man is. Barely got a sniff in the first half. But Chris Ashton has 2 tries on his debut for Toulon. Overlooked by England consistently throughout his career. But he is an excellent finisher, and I'm sure he's going to be a real asset for Toulon throughout the course of this season. No question about the score there. And Toulon are bursting clear. Real chance now of a try bonus point as well. Just one more needed, thanks to Ashton's quick fire double. This a difficult conversion, but the way Bello's been kicking, I wouldn't put it past him nailing this one. Well, he's missed that one, but we can let him off. He's otherwise had a fine game. Colin Slade, very short kick-off, just to gain some possession for Poe, who have been overwhelmed in the last 10 minutes or so. It's been a mightily impressive display for Toulon, who have just turned on the style again. That's gone backwards. Into the forward pass. Play on. Halai chasing this one. And Bello does absolutely superbly to get it off to Ashton, and that's not a bad kick either from the winger. Sending Poe right back inside their own half. Jinking run there from Bastien Pouray, who's not had much of this game. Is he holding on? He is. It's a penalty. Tousboard sensing the bonus points. Out to Vincent Clerc, who's broken a tackle, to Facundo Isa, who goes into touch. But this is champagne rugby from Toulon, who are stretching Poe to their limits. Armitage gets beaten far too easily, straight through the gap. But there you go, foot in touch. Armitage does well just to make sure. But it was that bump from the giant Malik Hamadash which did the job there, so well done Hamadash. Defensive line out for Poe, who need to clear their lines. Godza counter-rucking. Dobanya gets it away. Under quite a bit of pressure there, Dobanya. Almost scored at the other end.
Là pour vous, là.
To Sport, to JP Peterson. Might be his first touch. Suter. That's not forwards. Poe will look to play this quickly if they can. Slow ball though. Skipped the tackle of Ashton. And a good kick as well. Did that go? Oh, it went out on the full. I beg your pardon. It looked good to me, but might have just been a couple of inches out. Luke McAllister finally on the fields after arriving from Toulouse. And he gets a rapturous reception. And I think some of that applause reserved for Anthony Bello as well. But Luke McAllister is another fine player. What a battle it could be between those two this season. But Anthony Bello, quite rightly, gets the applause. He has been my man of the match, without question, in this game. Best player on the field. And what a future. Luke McAllister, Anthony Bello, Francois Tranduc, Jonathan Wisniewski. Toulon are not without their fly halves this season. But it would be a shame if Bello was overlooked for the majority of the campaign in favour of those bigger names. Because he has been simply majestic this afternoon. And he's run the show. Alongside Eric Esconde and now Sebastian Tousport.
En avant blanc, mais les balles rouges.
Ooh, that looked nasty. Nasty clash of heads for Kundo Isa.
C'est lutter, quoi.
Right in the thick of that. Made of stern stuff, though.
Mais les balles rouges.
Toulon lost twice on this ground last season. La Rochelle and Brive winners here. But won that other 11 matches, so this very much a fortress. And it looks as if they're about to cap off with a 4-point victory. It could get even better, though, with the bonus points still within touching distance. Bonival. Tackled by Conrad Smith. Suter, that was a lovely inside pass to Isa. Needs support, can't go on his own. Good covering tackle by the winger Pouray. Godza spills it.
Avantage terminé.
Advantage is over. Good play from Laurent Boucher. He's a very mobile hooker. It was Smith. Penalty, Poe.
Plaqueur. Vous lâchez pas. Plaqueur.
Not releasing the tackler. Someone's lost a boot. little point in going for 3 points, so they might as well go for 7, Poe. Into the 22 they go.
Chers spectateurs, l'homme du match Toulon est le numéro 10 du Rugby Club toulonnais,
Anthony Bello has just been named man of the match, and quite rightly so. The boy has been quite simply outstanding. And the future is bright for Toulon fly halves. I think Luke McAllister's a real shrewd signing as well, because they already have Tranduc, and they're two experienced operators. Perhaps they can help coach Anthony Bello to be the next superstar. You never know. So I'm pretty sure they'll learn a lot, or he will learn a lot rather, from McAllister. And Tranduc, that went backwards. Just about sums up Poe's afternoon, but coming back for the penalty, which I'm pretty sure will be going to touch again.
Je le dis en plus, je le dis fort, Maul. Dès là, c'est terminé. Je le dis très fort.
Armitage tells Slade what to do. Fabien Galtier is all smiles, and so he should be. Captained the side at the 2003 World Cup, described by Bernard Laporte as the greatest scrum half in French history. Toulon dab it down. It looked like it was going to be a consolation try for Poe. Ashton goes quick to Peterson. Referee tells them to dab it down again and quick tap it. Oh, Teusport, that's lovely from the scrum half. There is a chance of a bonus point, but Ashton could not gather it. Well, he was on for a hat-trick there, Ashton. This is great stuff from Teusport. Just fends off Tom Taylor, the Kiwi, and then feeds Ashton. Slightly behind him though. Fabien Galtier led Montpellier to the 2011 final on a small budget. That was before the Moed Altrad millions came into effect at Montpellier. But he left the club in 2014. Back in the top 14 now with Toulon, and a great start for him. Toulon have a tough one next time. They visit Clermont next Sunday, looking for revenge after losing the final to Les Jaunards. And they got knocked out by them in the Champions Cup quarter-finals as well last season. That's a place to fear, the Stade Marcel Michelin. Toulon beaten 30 points to 6 there last season. They follow that with a home game against Toulouse and a trip to Montpellier and Stade Francais. So a really tough set of fixtures for Toulon in their opening 5. So this a vital victory. Poe travel to Toulouse next week before 2 home matches against Lyon and Castres. So 2 tough away fixtures for Poe, Toulon and Toulouse, back-to-back to start their season. They won't want to lose both of those, so I'm sure they'll go all guns blazing. The Stade Ernst Vaillant next time out. Around about 20 seconds to go. Not sure the bonus point is coming, but certainly a very convincing victory. Good line speed again from Toulon. There's the hooter. Showboating stuff now. Can Ashton keep it in? He does. Still not giving up on that extra point. Two boards. McAllister. Peterson just about keeps it alive. Gogodze ships it off to Suter, or I beg your pardon, to Gaeto, but enough is enough. Well, I don't think the crowd liked that at the end, but I think the 4 points will do for Fabien Galtier. It was a very impressive display from last season's runners-up and the 2014 champions. They look a formidable outfit. Last season was turbulent, with 3 coaches coming and going. But Fabien Galtier looks to have a really settled side, and a quality one at that as well. Tries from Hugo Bonneval, Marcel van der Merwe, and 2 from Chris Ashton did the job for Toulon. No bonus point due to the stubbornness of today's opposition. Po will get better throughout the season, but they've been well beaten at the Stade Félix Mayol this afternoon. Toulon 41, Po 14. From myself, Elliot Richardson, from southern France, it's goodbye.